on time as far as sighting this bow in, I'm going to show you a little trick that you may not know about. This is something that your local pro shop should be able to provide for you. And if they're not providing it now, they're really missing the boat. This is going to save you a ton of time sighting your bow in. There's several different programs out there that will actually show you what your sight gap needs to be, whether it be on a target style sight or it can be incorporated into a fixed pin hunting style sight. This particular sight is a 7-pin fixed pin sight, so we're going to sight this bow in without even going out to the range, and we're going to get our gap set from 20 yards all the way to 80 yards. And we're going to do that by taking the few simple measurements. I put the bow in the Hooter shooter. I'm going to go ahead and draw it back and then take some of the measurements I need. Then we'll walk you through step by step and show you how it's entered into the program and then what the program spits out and how you can apply that to sight your sight in. So let's get started. First measurement we need is going to be from the peep sight to the actual pins themselves. And looks like we're 26 inches right on the money for that. So our sight length. The next measurement we want to do is going to be from the center of the arrow shaft at full draw to the center of the peep sight. And right now this is running 3 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to record that. Okay, now that we've drawn our bow back at full draw, we've come up with a peep height from the arrow, the peep length from the sight. We need to shoot it through the chronograph with the arrow that we're shooting out of this bow and record what the speed's going to be. Alright, looks like we got 285 feet per second. I always like to shoot it a couple of times just to make sure there's no big discrepancy in the speeds. It looks like we got a duplicate of 285. So we know this bow's shooting 285 feet per second. That's going to be real important for the information that we enter into our program to spit out our sight tape. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we need to take the measurement of the length of the arrow. It's like we're 26.5 inches. And then we need to get the weight of the arrow. Alright, looks like we're 362.9 grains. Alright, I think we've gathered all the information we need. We're going to find our program and enter it into the computer. This particular program is Archer's Advantage. We're going to go to the arrow configuration tab. We're going to enter the information, the 26.5 inch arrow, the type of arrow, and the overall weight of the arrow. Then the next deal we're going to hit is the sight configuration, which is the 2 measurements we took when we had the bow in the Hooter shooter, which we've got 26.5 and 3 3/4. So next is going to be the bow configuration. It's going to be a Hoyt. Be 64 pounds. We measured the weight of that bow. The draw length on that particular bow is 28 inches. And it gave us an arrow speed of 285 feet per second. So we're going to hit print and print out the paper and show you how it works here. Okay, so we've printed off our sight tape, and if you remember, we ran this through the chronograph. We were at 285 feet per second. So I'm going to cut this out. This is basically a sight tape that would be used on a movable scope type sight. But we can use this to set our pin gap all the way out to 150 yards if we actually had pins that went that far. So I'm going to cut this down to make it more manageable to get it inside of our sight ring, and then we'll show you how we're going to line up the pins on it. Alright, you can see that we've cut down the sight paper so that I could get it in here right next to the sight pins, and all that I've done is I've just set the gap on the pins to match the marks on the paper that the program is printed out. Now that's going to give us a sight gap from 20 to 80 yards in this particular 7-pin sight. And it's been my experience that this thing has been pretty much dead on every time I've used it. So you can pretty much bank on this being right on the money. The only thing now would be to take this bow and move the gang adjustment left and right and up and down. Probably start off at 20 yards, make sure that you're in the ballpark, and then move out to 40, probably 40 or 50 yards. You get that 40 or 50 yard pin set with the gang adjustment, I guarantee you that all the other pins are going to be right on the money. And I hope that that has shed some light on some of the things we're going to talk about here on The Ultimate Archer. If you like tips like this, and you really want to know the secrets of the pros, you need to tune in to The Ultimate Archer. Get on or get left behind.